You walk us through what you find is different between a public breakup and a private breakup, because I almost feel like we don't really grasp that again until you've lived it. And I'm guessing you had breakups previously that were not public, potentially. What are the differences? Like, what do you notice?
Breakups in general are just absolutely the worst. Yeah, hard. Even though I feel like they're very critical experiences that you have to go through in life in order to grow, they suck. But a public breakup, man, just the fact that it's not, just your close relatives and friends that know about you and your relationship. It's probably millions of people that have kept up to date with, your relationship and have been so invested and very fixated on it. And even when it comes to the media today, anything that happens, even when it's not a breakup, drama is entertainment, people love to talk, people love to speculate. And so dealing with public breakups, I feel like all of the drama that has to come with it, which I feel like is very unnecessary and causes a lot more pain and hurt to the people that are actually going through it, that doesn't help. But it's like when I'm dealing with the grief of a relationship and losing someone that I loved so dearly, and then also on top of that, having to deal with hundreds of thousands of people talking about it as well, saying things that aren't true, saying things that are hurtful, putting their 2 cents in it, being very insensitive towards the whole thing, not really understanding, because people don't understand that, people in the public eye could possibly be, actually human with actual lives and emotions when they see whatever, I let them on to see, because I, am a public figure. I feel like they kind of take that as, oh, that's her life, that's all that they are. But behind closed doors, it's like I deal with it, the depth of life as just as anyone else would. And so a relationship and a breakup for me is just as real as love is for anyone else. And I feel like people forget that. So I feel like that's hard with having to deal with everyone's opinions and comments and all the stuff that comes with that, but as well as nonstop constantly seeing, pictures or videos, just anything about me and my past relationship and all of that stuff. I feel like when, growing up in high school, when I first had my boyfriend and everyone started getting in relationships, it was a rule, when you break up with someone, you delete their number, you unfollow them on Instagram, you don't look at them, you don't talk to them, you don't hang out with them, it's a out of sight, out of mind type thing. It helps you you need that period where it's they're gone, and you get over them easier. Well, it's impossible for me. It's everywhere. And so I feel like that's hard, that constantly being brought up. I mean, how could you expect anyone to properly move on and get over a relationship that was so deep and intense when it's constantly talked about, constantly brought up in my life? It's hard, not to mention I have a song with one of my exes, which is, it's so different. It's so different. And I feel like regular breakup through having to deal with a breakup with the public is always going to be hard. And, they're both hard, but I feel like having the media involved is 100% a lot more difficult.
Yeah. How did you come up with the 8 stages of a breakup?
Oh my God, this is so funny. But I was listening to, so a lot of the times I'm very intentional, and I'm very thought out when it comes to every little thing that I do, especially with music. But this this whole 8 stages of a heartbreak breakup thing actually came after it was done. I was listening from top to bottom through my entire EP after it was mixed and mastered, and I was kind of like, you know what? This is kind of going through all 8 stages of a breakup, because I was like, instead of the 7 stages of grief, like this is like 8 stages, because there's 8 songs of a breakup and like the grief of a relationship. And I was with my team, they were like, whoa, it's kind of cool. And I was like, yeah. And so it all makes sense. Sometimes I planned things out before. Sometimes things just magically fall into place and make sense after. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. I think when we start recognizing there's stages and phases to anything, it helps us so much as humans, where we realize it's not just all one big thing. There's actually changes in how we feel.